So life began in the Americas, and I'm gonna spend the next few minutes explaining why I'm saying this and show receipts and facts to prove everything that I'm saying. So in almost every single culture, all the ancient cultures can agree on one thing, that the first humans were made from clay. Now, they say Adam and Eve were made from red clay. Adam is Hebrew for Adama, which means red earth or red clay. Now, if you look at pictures of Africans tens of thousands of years ago, they look like us. If you show pictures of Europeans tens of thousands of years ago, they look like us. Everybody used to look like a Native American, and everybody will look like a Native American. It's the circle of life. Everything goes back to its original self. Even AI agrees with me. When you show everybody in 1,000 years that's interglobally mixed with the same amount of DNA and everybody's completely mixed up, they'll look something like a Native American, copper tone skin, Asiatic eyes, wavy black to brown straight hair and brown eyes, right? So the reason why I believe my people are the first people is not just from that, but our teachings. We're taught that we are Ungwehunwe, and that means the original people or the real people. We're taught that we began here, that we didn't walk from Africa. And even when you look at maps in Africa of the human migrations and even animal migrations, it's always coming down and into Africa. And plus, they call the Middle East the cradle of civilization. The cradle of civilization is here in the Americas and the cradle of humanity. It's actually the origin for all life, all creation, and this is according to our creation stories. So the reason why they still say life began in Africa is because that's what they've taught the whole world. If with the information that I'm talking about, they will have to rewrite the history books. I believe that the out of America theory will get more traction as time goes on, and the more videos we talk about it and showing people the facts and receipts. Most of your animals in Africa come from the Americas. Actually, most of your animals all over the planet comes from the Americas. So this is one that gets me every time. The primate lineage likely originated in North America. Yeah. So this is also the land of the giants, and in all ancient cultures they talk about a race of giants in the beginning of time. They call that the golden ages because all the trees of life, the oxygen was better, right? All the animals were bigger too. Everything was bigger. The fruit, the vegetables, right? And obviously the people. They talk about in the days of Adam and Eve and Noah, they were like 15 feet tall, but they only find people of that stature here in the Americas. And now this is a point that I like to bring up too, like explains like who we are to the rest of the world. It's kind of been in your face this whole time. You know, everybody brags about having Cherokee in them, but you know what's weird? If we all started in Africa, shouldn't we all be saying we got a Zimbabwe grandma, we got an Ethiopian or a Kenyan grandma, we got a Zulu grandma, but no, everybody's got a Cherokee or a Blackfoot grandma, right? It's because life started here. Life started here in the Americas. All the animals, all the plants, all the birds, all the foods that everybody eats come from here. All of them. Is because the origin for all life, all creation began on Turtle Island. Turtle Island was Pangea. We have always been on Turtle Island. You understand? Turtle Island was Pangea, but we have always been on Turtle Island. We began here on Turtle Island. So another point that I like to bring up is nowhere in the history of human histories have they ever compared human to fractions except for in the ancient texts and scrolls when they said the giant race, the Nephilim, were 3/4 God, 2/3 God, 1/4 God, and then us, when they say you're 3/4 Indian, you're 4/4, you're a quarter, right? You're half breed, right? That's the only time they've ever compared humans to fractions is us and the Nephilim, and what they're talking about is us having Nephilim or sky people. Our ancestors are the sky people. That's why we're gifted individuals. That's why we're giant by stature. We're chosen in our own way. We're not in the Bible and all that. We've already proven that the Bible got all their stories from us. The Quran and the Torah, all the ancient religions. Indigenous culture is the mother culture if life started here. If life started here, it makes sense that indigenous culture would be the mother culture. You can see our stories in almost everybody's stories. Adam and Eve being made from clay, that's our story. The flood, that's our story. Tower of Babel, that's our story. And plus these messengers being related to the gods, we have prophets like that. I've never seen any of their prophecies ever come true. I only hear about our prophecies come true. Like very recent prophets too, like the Hopi prophet that prophesies Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the roads and the highways and cell phones and cars and all that. Like, come on. My people have a prophecy of the 3 serpent prophecy. Look into that. It's a pretty good one, right? And basically saying that the Messiah will be an Indian boy from the hilly country. Right? So they had to rewrite the Bible after they met us. Several times, actually. They thought we were lost tribes. Lost tribes are chosen people. And you see people today trying to say they're lost tribes. Trying to write on our coattails. We're not lost tribes. We're the original people, though. We're God's favorite. In our creation story, we look the most like God. Because after he made the lakes and the creeks and the rivers and all that, and he began to make us, he sat down and saw his reflection. And then he started making us. Right? I think our culture is not a pagan culture or a super religious culture, but it's a very strong, we got strong roots, we got strong medicine, we got a very original way. It's a way of life. It's not a religion. A religion is something that you can join. This is not something you can join. You got to be born into it. And that's what I love about our stuff. And that's why they treat us like cattle. That's why our people go missing, is because there's something about our genetic makeup that's unique and ancient. It's a known fact that the newer species will always infect the older or ancient native species. And that's why our people go missing, is because, and like they're waiting for their body parts to come back home, is because they're taking our body parts, because we got that ancient Nephilim, sky people, Anunnaki, star people DNA. Remember, it was only us and the giant race that they compared to fractions, 3/4 of something. Name another group where they make you have a card that tells you you're 3/4 or you're 4/4 or you're a quarter, anything, except for us and the giant race. Native Americans are the giant race. We got people in my tribe that are the tallest Native Americans on the North American continent, and they don't suffer from giantism. You'll come to realize that we have ties with every type of extraterrestrial, from little people to the grays to the greens to the tall whites to the Nephilim, right? They weren't just eating us; they were raping our women. So yeah, that DNA lives in us, and that's why they control us. Sovereignty is just an illusion. It's just an illusion. We don't have real sovereignty. But that's another conversation for another day. Thanks for watching.